I almost always know when I'm going to send because my heart rate is normal, my breathing is normal, and more than anything, I just have a confidence that I can do the route. And usually it's because I've worked the shit out of the route. I know it and I've got it dialed. I can imagine every move before I take off. So I do the route first in my mind, relax, chalk up, and go. I don't like to have a boss. I mean, I found that out a long time ago. I don't like to be told what to do. And so I don't know if I ever thought I was going to own my own business. If you don't like to have a boss, you got to start your own business, right? My last boss that I had a Super Bowl party, and I believe it was the 1990 Super Bowl. And he brought some of his homebrew to the party, and it was this brown ale, and I thought it was really, really good. But I'd never really had any homebrew. So I tasted this stuff, and I was just like, man, this is really good, Kevin. How'd you do it? And, we sat there and talked about it. So the next day I went out, and bought a homebrew kit and started brewing. And, it got out of control. I had 2 or 3 batches going at any given time. Had a mid-20s crisis, as I like to say. 27, took the LSAT, got accepted to law school, and my climbing partners at the time had just finished law school, and they both looked at me and said, Adam, there's no fucking way you're gonna make it in law school. We know who you are. And they said, this beer, you're making some pretty good beer. You ought to think about that. And that had always been in the back of my head. I was super passionate about making beer. It was fun, very creative, and took a shot at it. It's about the red point of scent. It's about looking at something and saying, I want to do that, and trial. Every time, it's an attempt after an attempt after attempt. So people don't realize that, for every beer that we've produced, there's countless batches of beer that have gone down the drain, especially on the big stuff, on the very experimental stuff, all the high gravity stuff. To make something that's 14, 15, 18% is a lot different. And it requires a lot of attempts. But you don't worry about it, and you don't worry about that attempt. You worry about what went well on that attempt, what went better than the last attempt. Just like when you're red pointing, you're always looking for those little things that keep you going and know that, hey, I'm making progress, and the ultimate goal is to clip the chains, and in brewing, the ultimate goal is to cap it. It's hard to appreciate because your nose is always nose is always right up to it. And it's so funny because it's a lot like climbing again, because almost every climber is like, oh man, I need to red point this route. I need to red point this route. I need to red point this route. Oh, I did it. Before we were back down on the ground, we're like thinking about the next project. And I think that's a climber mentality. It's never over. You're never finished. It's moving on to the next piece of the puzzle, moving on to that next challenge and trying to figure it out. And then maybe later you look back and say, man, I can't believe I did that day. How does that equate to the business? I think it's like you're all in and you're going to do it however you want to do it. I think that the most successful people aren't worried about what other people think, what other people are talking about them. I think it's about doing what you want to do and doing it the way you want to do it. And man, if you hold back, I don't think you know who you are.